Hello, and welcome to this episode of In Discussion With from PharmacyUpdateOnline. Today, I'm talking to Dr. Raliat Onatade about pharmacogenomics and personalised medicine. Please, could you start by introducing yourself?
So my name is Raliat Onatade, and I am a pharmacist. I'm chief pharmacist for North East London Integrated Care System, and I also have two other hats. One is as group chief pharmacist for Barts Health NHS Trust, also in East London, and I'm also chief pharmacist for North Thames Genomics Medicine Service Alliance.
And now can you give us a brief description of your role, what your current job involves?
My role as a chief pharmacist, both in an acute trust and in system-wide, is really being the person who looks after all things medicines and pharmacy. Now, in my Genomic Medicines Service Alliance role, then it's very similar, but it's much more around the strategic direction of pharmacy and pharmacogenomics for this specific alliance in North Thames, and linking that with our national agenda for genomic medicines and streamlining genomic medicine within the NHS.
Now, you recently gave the keynote address at the European Association of Hospital Pharmacists Congress, and the topic was personalised medicine. Can we start with some definitions? What is personalised medicine and what is precision medicine?
So they're often used interchangeably. So as a general rule, we don't really need to distinguish massively between the two. But if you wanted to look at them how they were different, then personalised medicine considers the genetic makeup of an individual with also attention to their values, to social context, to their behaviours, to attitudes, and then using all of that information to individualise the care and the treatment for that particular person or patient. Precision medicine is usually defined as a model for healthcare delivery, which and it takes into account data, information, analytics. But the outcome really is by and large the same, whether it's personalised or precision, in that it's tailored to the care of that individual.
Mm-hmm. And why should pharmacogenomics or pharmacogenomic guidance be followed when prescribing? What value does it add to the process?
Pharmacogenomics, and sometimes we use the term pharmacogenetics, we often use them interchangeably. They're not exactly the same, but for general purposes, we can use them interchangeably. The value of this discipline is that it's multiple, actually. Where there's pharmacogenomic guidance, then if used, then what it helps to do is reduce the incidence of adverse events, because you can now tailor your therapy with regard to a patient's not being overly sensitive to a medicine, or being more be more likely to have an adverse drug event. They can also help us be more efficient with our dosing strategies, because you might know if somebody has got a specific genetic mutation, which might make them either more sensitive or less sensitive to the effects of the medicine, or, for example, they may metabolize that medicine more or less fast or slow because of their genetic variation. So when you think about all of that in the round, it can also help with, for example, reducing the risk of polypharmacy, because you can make sure that you're getting it right first time, reducing the risk of waste, as well as reducing the risk of exposing your patient to harm due to to a medicine which they may be more sensitive to.
And last bit of background, where does precision diagnostics fit?
So precision diagnostics really drives precision medicine. And so it's that part of healthcare delivery where, if you can diagnose and cancer is a really good example, where you can actually diagnose the genetic cause of a tumor, for example, then you can tailor your therapeutic treatment to that genetic cause. And
Right.
that's, you see, so it drives the use of precision medicine.
Well, I'm hoping you can talk us through some examples now. Could we start with DPD deficiency? What is it? Why does it matter? And what have hospital pharmacists done about this?
We've been working on and the use of DPD and DPYD deficiency for a long time. It's only very recently that it's become very mainstream, and the NHS has mandated that we use this. DPD is an enzyme, and it's involved in the metabolism of certain chemotherapy drugs. So the most likely ones are 5-fluorouracil and capecitabine. So DPD as an enzyme is involved in the metabolic pathway of these chemotherapy drugs. DPYD is the gene that codes for the enzyme. Now, if you have insufficient DPD caused by a mutation in the DPYD gene, you are more susceptible to the toxic effects of these chemotherapeutic drugs, and they can be very, very toxic. So what we have to do is, before we start treating people with these drugs, we check for a mutation in DPYD. And if that mutation is found, and it could be, you could either be homozygous, which means that you've got the full deficiency, or heterozygous with partial deficiency, then you will either reduce the dose of the drug, or in some cases we will have to give an completely different drug, because the risks of toxicity are significantly elevated if you have this gene mutation. And therefore, your hospital pharmacist role is twofold. One, to ensure that your patient has been tested for this mutation before treatment is started. And if the results come back that a mutation is present, then to provide advice on the change in therapy or change in dosing, so that our patients do not get toxic side effects.